truths revealed. Christmas lies. The reason for this video is to expose the lies and inaccuracies surrounding this event. As parents, we owe it to our children so we may not fall into the category as prophesied in the following scripture. Jeremiah chapter 16 verse 19. The Gentiles shall come to YHWH from the ends of the earth and shall say, surely our fathers have inherited lies, vanity, and things wherein there is no profit. Blatant inaccuracies. 1. Luke chapter 2 verses 7. The baby Messiah was born in a stable in Bethlehem and was placed in a manger. In the Greek New Testament, he is described as a rephos, Strong's number 1025, meaning a newborn baby. The wise men were not present at this time. 2. Matthew chapter 2 verse 11. Approximately 2 years later, the wise men followed the star to Nazareth and found the Messiah as a child. Strong's number 3816, pace, in a house. Strong's number 3614, oikia. Then they worshipped him and offered the gifts to him. Please note, from a newborn baby in a stable with no wise men to a child in a house with wise men present. 3. Luke chapter 2 verse 8. Shepherds keeping watch over their flocks at night. 25th of December was midwinter in Israel with frequent frosts, so the shepherds would not be out in the fields with their flocks of sheep. Wrong timing facts. Luke 1. Luke chapter 2 verse 1. Caesar Augustus decreed for the people to be taxed. All had to go to their own city. Joseph had to go to his city, Bethlehem, the city of David, because he was of the house and lineage of David. Caesar Augustus would not unnecessarily provoke the Jews by ordering this registration in the rainy, cold, winter month of December, when travelling would be very difficult. True timing. 1. John chapter 1 verse 14. And the Word was made flesh and tabernacled among us. Most translations use the word dwelt. In Greek, Strong's number 4636, that means a temporary residence, a tabernacle. The following are in agreement with this translation: Vine's Dictionary, the Interlinear Bible, the Sacred Scriptures, the Sefer, and the Companion Bible. 2. Luke chapter 2 verse 41. The logical time for registration would be in the fall at the end of the harvest and would coincide with the Feast of Tabernacles, confirming the above. This explains why there was no room in the inn for Miriam and Joseph. According to Josephus, Jerusalem was normally a city of 120,000 inhabitants, but during the feast, sometimes as many as 2 million would gather. These crowds not only filled Jerusalem, but the surrounding towns as well, including Bethlehem, which was only 5 miles to the south. 3. The baby Messiah was born at the Feast of Tabernacles in Bethlehem. On the 8th day, being the last day of the Feast of Tabernacles, the Messiah was circumcised and was then presented in the temple 41 days after his birth. Leviticus chapter 12, verses 3 to 4. 4. Luke chapter 2, verse 39. And when they had performed all these things according to the law of YHWH, they returned to their own city of Nazareth. 5. The years between the birth in Bethlehem, the move to Nazareth, and the wise men from the east, Matthew chapter 2 verse 1. After seeing the star in Persia, they would have had to have travelled a long way to reach Jerusalem. And as Daniel had lived in this area, it is possible that these wise men had knowledge of the prophecy contained in Numbers chapter 24 verse 17. There shall come a star out of Jacob, and a scepter shall rise out of Israel. A star in Hebrew is Kochab, the Messiah. 6. Matthew chapter 2 verse 1. Herod the king, and the 2 years confirmed. After their long journey, the wise men came to Herod, asking him where they may find the Messiah, as they had seen his star in the east. Herod was troubled and threatened by this news. So he called together the priests and scribes, being learned men in the scriptures, asking him where the promised Messiah would be born. They quoted Micah chapter 5 verse 2, saying it was prophesied that he would be born in Bethlehem. Matthew chapter 2 verses 7 to 8. Herod then called the wise men to find out when they had first seen the star, and instructed them to go to Bethlehem to find the child and bring him to him so he could worship him. Matthew chapter 2 verse 9. When the star led them on to Nazareth, 145 kilometers away, and stopped over the place of his birth, they entered the house, rejoiced, worshipped, and handed over their gifts. Matthew chapter 2 verse 12. YHWH warned them not to return to Herod, so they returned to their own country. When Herod realized they had disobeyed him, in verse 16, he ordered all male infants from 2 years and under in Bethlehem and surrounding area to be killed, fulfilling the prophecy of Jeremiah chapter 31 verse 15. Matthew chapter 2 verse 13. Herod widened his search, so the angel of YHWH warned Joseph to take the child, his mother, and to flee to Egypt and stay there until the death of Herod. In December each year, we grew up with these inaccurate and false story pictures. A stable with a newborn baby in a manger with the parents. 3 wise men and farm animals hovering around. False. The shepherds out in the fields with their sheep. As children, we were taught to believe these pictures, and the same message is still being taught to millions of children all over the world. A recent survey states that in the United States, 96% of Christians and 81% of non-Christians celebrate Christmas. How many also believe this picture of Santa Claus in his red suit flying through the skies in his sledge? Is it a coincidence that the word Santa is an anagram for Satan? The Christmas celebration was only started in 336 of the Common Era by the Catholic Church of Rome. So much error was introduced in the 4th century. Sunday worship, the Trinity, etc. To non-believers in the Bible, atheists and pagans, this will have no meaning to you. The Almighty Creator, YHWH, instructed Bible-believing people not to follow pagan customs and festivals. In fact, they should be destroyed. Any library and the internet will confirm that the 25th of December is a major pagan festival called Natalis Invicti, the nativity of the unconquered Son. The Catholic Church of Rome just Christianized this pagan solar custom. When we were in the church, they used to try and justify this Christmas practice by these words. 1. At least we get people to come to church once a year. 2. We know it's pagan and not the right time, but the Lord knows what is in our hearts. 3. How can we take away the joy from our children? 4. What about the money that would be lost to commerce? The result of scriptural disobedience. Many are called, few are chosen. This is a harsh scriptural statement. Matthew chapter 22, verse 14. Although no birthday of the Messiah was ever celebrated by the early believers and apostles, the Feast of Tabernacles is a special time that YHWH instructed should be kept forever. Leviticus chapter 23, verse 41. Our Messiah was born on the first day of the feast, when he took up temporary abode on this earth and tabernacled amongst us for this purpose. John chapter 3, verse 16. For YHWH so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believes in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. The ultimate gift. Please prayerfully consider, as the first day of Tabernacles is a joyous day, perhaps we should follow the wise men's example and lay gifts for our children dedicated to our Messiah. The children would experience a greater meaning and an upliftment for them, allowing them to focus on the ultimate gift. Please share, and your comments would be appreciated. Hallelujah and Shalom.